In this ever-evolving world, we are under the impression of the vast variety of choices we have, especially the choices with what we see, hear, and read. However, choice is only an illusion. 90% of everything we hear, see, or read is owned by 6 giant corporations. The 2016 presidential election is in full swing as both parties prepare for the general election in November. There are popular candidates on both sides. Undeniably, the most popular is Donald Trump. Donald Trump has split American voters in half. The mainstream media has portrayed him very poorly. But who is the real Donald Trump? Let's take a look at some of the reasons people dislike him.
Trump is a racist, xenophobic, Islamic-hating, Mexican-hating.
Wow, you don't have the audacity to sit up here and say you believe in Donald Trump in 2016. You are flat-out racist. And anybody in that
Donald, you have Make America Great Again. Donald Trump does not want to make it great again. How? He does not support Mexicans, not Jews, not Muslims, not blacks, no one but his own country.
He wants to deport, yes! He wants to deport Mexicans. He wants to make Muslims wear identification.
As you can see, many of these anti-Trump protesters hate Donald Trump because they have built up this Gargamel, Smurf-hating monster who simply does not exist. I wonder where they got that idea from.
When Donald Trump is calling Mexicans rapists, when
Hispanics are bringing in rapists, and you know.
That's hard though, Jeffrey, when you say, you got to build a wall, the Mexicans are rapists.
It seems like to me, if you want Latinos to vote for you, you're not going to go on national television and call them rapists.
Latinos when he called some Mexican immigrants rapists and drug dealers.
I just saw the lie, the great lie.
I think the mainstream media portrays Donald Trump in a very negative way.
Here's what he really said.
They're bringing drugs, they're bringing crime, they're rapists, and some, I assume, are good people. But I speak to border guards, and they tell us what we're getting.
A lot of things that he said is true.
Wow.
The Mexican border.
You're Hispanic and you're saying that. Are you sure? Wow.
According to Huffington Post, 80% of Central American women, girls, are raped crossing into the United States border.
I'm here because I'm agitated that the media does not separate legal immigration from illegal. People spill out their guts to come here legally, and it's just really a shame that they give you a bad name. You do support immigration.
It's not racist to follow immigration laws. I'm sorry if you feel that way.
Here in an isolated statement here, and when he says he offended all Mexicans or illegals, no, he said the bad people. He is not a racist. And in case Mr. Jamal and Mr. Vargas haven't looked up the definition, go look up the definition. Donald Trump does not satisfy the definition of a racist or any of these other things that they're putting out there. They are in denial.
Racist is just a word. So he's just another trendy pointing at the sign like they always say. They always say Trump is a racist, Trump is racist, but they won't respond with the facts. That's what always happens. These same old trendies do this, and this guy's older and he's doing this. Usually you expect the college kid to do this, but that's why y'all gotta spread the word. That's why y'all gotta let all your college friends know and start letting them know the facts, because this right here, this is propaganda. This guy doesn't have any facts. He doesn't know what to talk about, because all he could say is just like the liberals, Trump is a racist, Trump is a racist. But it's not true. This guy needs to do his research and look at his facts, because like I said, I'm married to a Mexican who is illegal and we're working on his papers, but I don't agree.
Donald Trump has came up with some very strict immigration laws that would guarantee work in the African American community.
You have to have heart. You have to take care of women's health issues. You have to take care of poor people that they're never going to have a shot. And you have to take care of African American youth who had never been in a worse position than they are right now.
Being asked, a lot of attention has been placed on his candidacy, Donald Trump, in the media. Now you have reports saying, listen, what about his supporters? What are we learning about his supporters, the new people truly that he is, to his point, bringing into the fold? Gabe Gutierrez, actually Jacob one of our reporters, and I don't want to quote the wrong reporter here, was just out at the Trump campaign. I think we have the sound, and my team will have to tell me, where they spoke with some Trump supporters. Let's play what they said.
David Duke and people like that, they come out from under the rocks all the time around this time this year. It got nothing to do with Donald Trump. We're all Americans. I think we need to stop with all the racist stuff and the race baiting. Like me and my friend right here, we just met today, we was talking. You know, we got to stop with the racist stuff and this, that. We all Americans, man, and nobody paying David Duke no mind.
Clearly, let me just be clear here. Obviously, the majority of Donald Trump supporters are not African American. I don't know how many African Americans were in that building, but that is one person that we have chosen to cut that sound from, David.
Well, yeah, but
my friend and mentor, Robert C. Byrd. Senator Byrd was a man of surpassing.
Imran is looking forward to replacing Belgian law with Sharia law, including amputation for theft, stoning for adultery, and death to homosexuals. Something else that Muslim immigration appears to have brought to Norway is what some here call a rape epidemic. Recent police statistics showed that in the capital of Oslo, 100% of assault rapes between strangers were committed by immigrant non-Western males.
On after the news broke, the city's police chief dubbed what happened on New Year's Eve a completely new dimension of crime.
All Donald Trump is saying is we need to put a pause on bringing more people into this country until those things are put into place.
He wants to make Muslims wear identification.
So he wants to follow the law, and he doesn't want ISIS infiltrators who have said they will come in with Syrian refugees. He wants to vet those people. That sounds crazy to me.
For something like that. Title 8 gives the President of the United States the explicit authority to either stop, halt, pause for any time that he deems necessary any class of alien citizen that he deems a threat to the United States. It's in Title 8 in the Code, Section 1182. A lot of people throw in the religious freedom or no religious test, but that's not with regards to immigration. That's only in regard to Article 6.
Okay, let me address something else.
Countries in Europe. So when Mr. Trump said we can't allow these Muslims, refugees, into America. Now, a lot of people were upset with him, but I know, sir, that the hatred for America in the Muslim world is building, as we told. If you let them in and you don't vet them carefully, you might be letting in your own destruction.
I know the best people, and I'm totally self-funding my campaign. So I don't have to take donors and special interest people and lobbyists. I don't have to bring them in. I know the absolute best people, and I'm bringing...
So, the man is not part of the establishment.
But they don't respect that he's anti-establishment. I don't get it. The GOP hates him. Republican elites hate him. National Review hates him. Everyone wearing a monocle hates this guy. It's not just the libs. And the people who love him, middle American average Joes. Doesn't that tell you something? Don't the fans tell you something? There's a lot to say about someone by their enemies. You can judge a man by his enemies. And the enemies of Donald Trump are the elites. I was under the understanding that we hated lobbyists. Jack Abramoff was the guy. They did a whole 60 Minutes on him. And he personified this broken system we have where you pay for a lobbyist to go to Washington. He promotes a politician. Politician gets in office, and then he has to pay the guy back. Trump doesn't have that. He doesn't have those debts. He doesn't owe those favors. Isn't that a good thing?
Here's a guy who I really respect. Here's a guy who gets things done in New York. You want to have somebody fix our country? Donald Trump is a guy who could economically fix our country.
Donald Trump has shown an extraordinary ability to understand how our economy works, to create jobs for the American people. He's done it here in Nevada. He's done it across the country. He understands that our economy is facing threats from abroad. He's one of the few people who stood up and said, you know what, China has been cheating. They've taken jobs from Americans. They haven't played fair. We have to have a president who will stand up to cheaters. We believe in free trade and free enterprise, but we don't believe in allowing people to cheat day in and day out.
Being an entrepreneur is huge. It's why we have a job. It's why I'm sitting here. And for some reason, we stopped revering these people. We stopped seeing it as a big deal. And I've even heard millennials criticize Trump and say, he's a terrible businessman. He failed at this. He failed at that. Those of us who have generated money in the real world, from hot dog stands to major billion-dollar corporations, know that it's 12 failures for every success. And when you have that success, you employ people.
America's biggest problems are the national debt.
And if you look at the national debt, that's just scary.
This country right now owes $19 trillion, and they need somebody like me to straighten out that mess.
He's a very smart businessman.
The guy's a businessman. He knows money like no one else.
He knows what money is, where it comes from, and how to make more of it, rather than redistributing other people's in exchange for their vote.
About him, and they find out that he's not the person that the media has depicted him to be.
Are you endorsing?
I support Donald Trump, and everybody knows 100%.
Families. I know Donald forever. I like Donald very much.
Wonderful guy. I mean,
he is.
And he's miscast by the media. You know that.
I like Donald. He's got an enormous ego, but he's a good guy. He's got a big heart, by the way. He's very good to people. He's very kind to people.
People don't know that.
I've come to know Donald Trump over the last few years. He is actually a very intelligent man who cares deeply about America. There are two different Donald Trumps. There's the one you see on the stage, and there's the one who's very cerebral, sits there and considers things very carefully. You can have a very good conversation with him.
Now, some of you might be surprised at this statement that I'm about to make, but I found Mr. Trump not only to be very gracious and very hospitable, but I also found Mr. Donald Trump to be a very humble man. My personal objective in this rally is for you to form an opinion of Donald Trump that is not based upon what the liberal media wants to brainwash you with.
I support Donald Trump.
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 Probably Trump.
I support Donald Trump.
I support Donald Trump.
I support Donald Trump.
My name is Jules Marmer, and I support Donald Trump.
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 Firmly support Donald Trump.
I support Donald Trump.
And I support Donald Trump.
Because he does want to make America great again.
I'm supporting Donald Trump.
I support Donald Trump.
I support Donald Trump.
I support Donald Trump.
Dumb people. These are American patriots, and they want this country.
So much. We're going to have win after win after win. You people are going to get sick and tired of winning. You're going to say, please, please, President Trump, we can't take this much victory. Please stop. We don't want any more wins. And I'm going to say to you, we're going to win. I don't care what you say. We're going to make our country great again. We're going to win. We're going to win. And we're going to